What happens when the captor and the captive start to feel the heat of an undeniable attraction? When the lines between power and vulnerability blur, can love truly conquer all? Are these two destined for more than just a dangerous game? Stay with me as this love story teeters on the edge of passion and betrayal. The fire is starting to burn, but who will get consumed? The grand hall of M's estate gleamed under the soft glow of countless lanterns. Their flickering light cast a warm, golden hue over the entire room. Gold-trimmed drapes cascaded down the high walls, and polished marble floors reflected the opulence of the evening's festivities. But for Joe, the son of the powerful merchant, all this luxury felt like a gilded cage. The laughter of the kingdom's elite echoed around him, but it felt hollow, an empty sound in a room full of strangers. Joe leaned back in his chair, staring vacantly at the high windows. His gaze seemed to search for something beyond the walls, perhaps freedom, or an escape from this suffocating life of privilege. He had been raised to inherit everything, the estate, the wealth, the power, but none of it ever felt like his. Wealth had come at a price, and it was a price Joe hadn't asked for. His peers around him laughed and boasted about their exotic travels, their family's power, and their endless business ventures. Joe, however, couldn't shake the feeling that his life was already written out for him. He wasn't the master of his own fate. He was just the heir to a fortune that was never really his to claim. But what if there was a way out? What if there was a chance for something real? Unbeknownst to Joe, another pair of eyes observed him from the shadows. Aid, disguised as a humble caterer, stood near the edge of the room. Dressed in a modest white outfit and a headscarf, he blended seamlessly with the other servants. His presence was almost invisible, but his calculating gaze told a different story. He wasn't here to serve the guests. He was here for something far more dangerous. The plan had been carefully orchestrated. Joe's father, Umar, had fortified the estate, increasing the number of guards and tightening security since their last attempt. Joe had become nearly untouchable. But Ade and his gang were ready. Disguising themselves as caterers was the only way to get inside undetected. The laughter reached its peak, and that was when Ade made his move. He set his tray down with deliberate care and signaled to his gang. The trap had been set. Smoke bombs hissed, filling the room with thick clouds of confusion. Guests screamed, and the clash of steel filled the air as guards scrambled to regain control. But it was too late. Ade moved swiftly through the smoke, his gang moving with military precision. They intercepted guards, creating diversions, ensuring a swift and clear exit. Ade's target was clear, Joe. Through the haze, Joe blinked in confusion, his eyes widening as Ade appeared before him. "Let's go," Ade muttered, his voice low but firm, gripping Joe's arm. Joe barely had time to react. Before he could protest, Ade yanked him to his feet and pulled him toward the exit. Behind them, Umar's voice thundered through the smoke. "Stop him! Don't let him take my son!" But it was too late. The gang expertly guided Ade and Joe through the estate, moving fluidly as they scaled walls and dashed through alleys, leaving the chaos behind them. The sounds of Umar's frantic shouts faded as they escaped into the quieter streets of the district. As they paused near an alley, the weight of what had just happened settled heavily between them. Joe turned to Ade, his expression one of exasperation and disbelief. "All that drama?" Joe asked, his voice sharp but tinged with disbelief. "You could have just asked if you wanted to see me that badly." Ade shot him a sidelong glance, a smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. "Where's the fun in that?" Joe stared at him, caught off guard by the answer. A rush of emotion stirred inside him. Was he amused, annoyed, or maybe something else entirely? For the first time, Joe felt the attraction he had tried to deny. The attraction to the outlaw, his captor, his enemy, was undeniable. The heat between them simmered, thick and palpable. Neither could ignore it. The hideout was eerily quiet. The chaos of the kidnapping had faded, leaving an unsettling stillness in its wake. Joe stood near the edge of the room, arms folded across his chest. His radiant skin caught the dim firelight, but his face remained unreadable. His eyes, however, never left Ade. They were alone now. The weight of their shared history, the kidnapping, and the unspoken tension between them filled the room. It hung there, thick in the air, undeniable. "So, what do you want this time?" Joe's voice broke the silence, calm but edged with disbelief. Aid, arms crossed, studied him closely. "I need you," he said slowly, his voice laced with quiet intensity. "I need you to help me invest the ransom money, to create something lasting for the people here. They deserve more than coins that run out after a few months. I thought you'd know how." Joe blinked, his brow furrowing. "You kidnapped me? For that?" Aid's voice sharpened. "You're the only one I know who understands this. You said it yourself the last time you were here, that you love economics and strategy. So I thought, I'm not asking for a favor, Joe. I'm giving you a purpose." Joe's heart hammered in his chest. Was this some twisted game, or was there something deeper at play? "Fine," Joe said, his voice softer, but uncertainty lingering. "I'll help you, but under 2 conditions." Aid raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What conditions?" Joe held up one finger. "First, since you clearly missed me so much, you had to steal me from my home. Twice. I didn't miss you," he said, but before Aid could speak, Joe silenced him with a raised hand. "I'm not done talking." Aid's composure faltered for just a second. Joe continued, "I'm going to take you on a date." The words hung in the air, heavy with implications. Aid blinked. "What?" Joe smiled, slow and deliberate, stepping closer. "A date. 2 people talking, getting to know each other. Maybe sharing a meal, candlelight, stolen glances, all of that." Aid's breath caught. For a moment, the world around them seemed to shrink. But then, with a smirk, Aid raised a second finger. "Second condition," Joe said. "I want better living conditions than last time. That chair's not going to cut it. I'll need your bed." Aid blinked, his face flushing. "What, my bed?" Joe shrugged innocently. "It's the only comfortable one here, right? Unless you want to share it with me." Aid's mouth opened, then closed. He didn't know how to respond. His mind raced, but his heart was betraying him. There was a warmth spreading through him, something that made him feel vulnerable in a way he'd never known before. "I'm impossible," Aid muttered under his breath, his usual composure slipping. Will Joe and Aid finally give in to their growing attraction, or will their dangerous lives tear them apart? What happens when love collides with power? Don't miss the next part of this thrilling story. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Stay tuned because the storm is only beginning. Thank you for staying tuned till now. For all my returning subscribers, you know I love you, and to my new subscribers, you're the best. Turn on the post notification bell so you're alerted when the next video drops. And until next time, bye-bye.